Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. We are excited to have Jaimee Mashula here joining us today, the founder of Bodhi Massage and Wellness. Again, she's back here today to talk more about the work she's doing and, of course, how she can help you all at her wellness center. So please say hello to everyone, new listeners each and every week. Remind us a little bit about what you do.
My name is Jaimee Mashula, and I own Bodhi Massage and Wellness in Potter County, Pennsylvania. And I am a massage therapist who kind of does a whole body approach to my clients rather than just kind of putting them on the table and massaging them and sending them back out the door. Um, so that's kind of where I'm at with that.
I know essential oil education is something else you do. You do yoga therapy, meditation, massage therapy, and so much more. Body mind coaching. Just tell us the website, how we can contact you.
Um, the website is www.bodhi, massageandwellness.com. And then I have a second one. It's www.coachingbodhi.com.
Beautiful. I know we got some great topics for today. We're going to start with you mentioned that approximately 5% of your clients come in for acute issues. Could you share a little bit about that?
Yes. So, about 5% of them come in. And basically those are just people who have, taken a fall or they overdid it this time of year, like they're starting to get their gardens ready, doing yard work, and they just kind of overdid it. They've been kind of relaxing all winter
Yeah.
long, and
Mm-hmm.
their muscles are just kind of not used to going out and doing all that stuff again. So, or even in the wintertime, if when we get snow, like they go out and over shovel or something like that. So they just need a little TLC, those ones there.
Oh, yeah, of course. What other some of the other things that are people are coming in for? You mentioned, overdoing themselves, pulling, tearing things, and what other acute issues do you see?
Um, there's things like car accidents sometimes that I work with people. Um, and people who do a lot of driving.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah. And the poor
yeah.
posture. Look at us sitting here like this. I got a special chair because I had herniated discs, a few months ago, and I realized that this is putting pressure. So I got a special chair, and now I'm here still hunched over. Thanks for reminding me. That is an acute issue. Now, you do mention 10% of your clients, though, are, chronic pain. They are in need of relief of that.
Yeah, so those are people who like you, who have like herniated discs and need a
Mm-hmm.
little extra TLC. Um, People who suffer from like fibromyalgia. I have people who get chronic migraines that helps to release their stress or their migraine pain. Um, People who just different health concerns. I have people who have like diabetes and get neuropathy in their feet. So just like the general circulation helps the neuropathy. Um, yeah. Um, yeah,
Like,
that's
I
pretty
mean,
much.
people that also you mentioned chronic pain. So we're even like fibromyalgia,
Yes.
something like what about people with like sciatica?
Oh,
Right?
definitely.
That's right. Oh,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
like you mentioned, there could be really serious injuries in a sense, where that's, affects them forever and they have chronic pain. What about plantar fasciitis? Have you heard of that in the foot? Is that
I,
something that can where you can work through?
yes. Yes. Yeah, there's special techniques I can do for that. And then there's also exercises that I can show you to help work through that as well.
Got it.
Um, Usually though, I try to work with a doctor in conjunction with that because that can get pretty serious. So
Yeah.
I always like to work with the healthcare providers too, if needed be.
Got it. So what would you say the majority of your patients come to you for? What are they coming to you for?
The majority of my patients, they or clients actually, they come in and they just say, "Fix me."
Yeah.
They're just overwhelmed with life.
Mm-hmm.
They're caregivers. They are single parents. They have stressful work life.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who are dealing with like relationship or family issues. They're just overly stressed out, just just tired and just want that they just need that 60 minutes or 90 minutes of just doing nothing and having someone take care of them for a change.
Which is not a bad thing. My goodness, right? So people
Right.
who are uncomfortable, maybe, have headaches, you mentioned, have trouble sleeping at night. And what are you finding, relates to why are our bodies feeling like this? Normally, what's happening in the family or at the workplace?
Usually when they're feelings dealing with all of this extra stuff on the outside, like their muscles just kind of when you get tensed up, um your muscles just get tensed up, like
Mm-hmm.
especially in your upper shoulders and your neck. A lot of times people's first reaction is just to kind of like bring their shoulders up towards their ears and or clench their jaws. Um, so this helps them to um, kind of release that tension in that area and just let them just kind of let everything just fall.
Mm-hmm. So you also mentioned relationship with family is a problem, like single parents, part of the sandwich generation. Do you want to talk more about that?
Yeah, the sandwich generation is like people who are like, in their late 30s, maybe early 40s, and who are taking care of, their own children, and their parents are also getting a little older and need extra help. So
Yeah.
they're kind of being pulled in both directions and trying to take care of both their parents and their children and taking very little time out for themselves. So they just get overwhelmed and um, because they're not taking any time for themselves. They're not paying attention to their body and what their body is telling them they need.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Great. What other things did you want to share today?
um, so actually, these people, the people that are like this, that are just like that overwhelmed feeling, These are the people. The reason why I got into doing more than just massage. They are because you can come in and you can lay on my table for 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 120 minutes. But the second you walk back out that door and you go back to life as normal, then automatically those shoulders get tense again. You're bringing them up to your, I call them your shoulders become your earrings. You just everything, all the work that I had just done is completely out the door.
Yeah.
So I try to teach my clients different techniques for relaxation. I through the coaching process, I work with them to um, kind of build in boundaries and just kind of become their own best friend and um, talk to themselves as if they were talking to a friend of theirs who was experiencing something similar because
Mm-hmm.
they wouldn't want to see their friend go through dealing with things that they're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Why should they let themselves do that?
Yeah.
So we just kind of work with each other and kind of help them learn, ask themselves the right questions, and help them find the next step that's appropriate for them.
Yeah. Absolutely. And by the way, for those new listeners today, just a little bit about yourself. Let's just take a break here about your background in massage therapy, why you came here. Could you share that story with us?
Um, my background, I actually began in like the corporate industry. And the company um, went bankrupt during the 2008 recession and eventually was sold off. And I was just burnt out from corporate life.
Mm-hmm.
And I moved and I just decided to go to massage school. And um, as something different, what could be more relaxing than a massage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we moved after I finished massage school. I worked in a chiropractic office for several years. That doctor was also a functional medicine doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of helped me recognize like a lot of times people's issues are deeper than what it appears. So that kind of took me down the road of looking at more the aspect of looking at your looking at the stress response and looking at, what's causing all the pain in your body versus, oh, I have a kink in my neck, fix it kind of thing. So why do you have that kink in your neck? What's going on in your world that is causing that kink kind of thing?
Got it.
About 5 years ago, I left the doctor's office and broke out into my own, um, and kind of continued with the massage therapy and the yoga. And during the uh, pandemic, when I was shut down, that's when I took my coaching classes and became a certified body mind coach.
Yeah. Awesome. Also, you mentioned in your notes that you want to discuss more about years of seeing your clients, right? You said after hearing and seeing them on the table, this is when you decided to take the whole body approach in a sense. Could you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's natural, like especially when you see clients on a regular basis, they sit there and they'll have a conversation with you and they'll tell you what's going on in their world, and um, you can see their body reacting as they're telling their story and how they're tensing up during different things, and you can feel that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I was looking to move forward and, again, take that whole body approach and try to help people, both inside and outside of their body.
Oh, yeah, because it all is related. It all is connected, a mind, body, and soul, we should say, right? And
Yes.
what about you talked about the whispers with your clients?
Yeah. Everybody kind of has little whispers in their bodies. Like when you're a child um and if you're hungry, you eat. When you're tired, you sleep. When your body is telling you. But as we get older, we learn to ignore those little signals in our body. When we're a kid, if something doesn't feel right or something feels bad, we stay away from it. If, we're excited, we go for it. As we get older and more adult and, taking on more responsibilities, we begin to ignore those little whispers in our bodies that tell us, hey, you need to slow down. Hey,
Mhm.
this isn't safe. We just keep pushing forward and forward and forward until people kind of reach that point of breakdown or, burnout,
Mhm.
and just can't can't take it anymore. So this kind of helps you. I work with people to help remember, um, and recognize those little whispers that your body is telling you again.
Yeah. Always listen to that intuition, as they say, right?
Exactly.
Because we all have it, but a lot of us kind of ignore the signs. And you said you found that simply sitting and talking with your clients really is their best medicine. And you also are a coach. So explain the coaching process that you can do with people.
So with the coaching process, we just they sit and they'll tell me what's going on in their world, and then I just kind of help ask the right questions, depending on what's going on, to help them figure out what their next steps should be. I don't guide them, I don't counsel them. I just kind of listen to their story and then ask them, you know, okay, so this is your situation, you know, depending on the situation, what's one small thing that we can do to help move you forward? What is, because everything, people kind of expect things to happen in like big jumps, and
Mhm.
95% of the time when you do a big jump to something, it's not going to work out. But if you just take those tiny little baby steps and get there gradually, it'll
Mhm.
get there. It'll be much better in the end.
Got it. And now tell me the process of coaching though. How long do you work with someone besides do you do virtual coach work as well?
I do, yeah. Um, Usually, what happens is I will have a discovery session either via Zoom or in person, depending on how local they are. And with that, we'll just kind of discuss what's going on in their world. I will tell them like what I do, how I can help them.
Mm-hmm.
And then we mutually decide whether or not we would be a good fit to work together.
Oh,
And then from there, if we do decide we're a good fit, I usually see people biweekly for either 3 months or 6 months, depending on what they're looking for. And then we put together like little action steps for that bi-week in between, for them to work on, to move forward and to reach their goals and to get them where they want to
got it. And also, it looks like you want to talk, well, about anything in particular. Give me some client examples of how you've helped some people. I think that's always a good thing to hear from you about the work you've done and how you're helping people. Give us some specifics about their conditions and about the work you've been doing with them.
be. Well, if we go massage wise, I have a mm, mom. She is homeschools 4 children. Um, she works supposedly per diem at one of our local hospitals as a nurse, but which is kind of turned more into a full-time position for her.
Mm-hmm.
She feels like she's being spread thin because she just can't keep up with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So she comes about once a month for a massage because as a result, her body is just kind of yelling at her, like, trying to do too much. And during that time, I kind of mix the coaching in with the massage for her.
Mm-hmm.
And we just talk about what's going on in her world and try to help her figure out how she can move forward, in the next month or so. Little changes that she can make that might make her life a little easier. At the same time, um, we do the massage, and I usually add like a little meditation into the massage as well with her.
Oh.
Then coaching wise, right now I am working with someone who has kind of a high profile job, and that was kind of pushed upon her. Her supervisor had moved away, and they couldn't find anyone to take this spot. So they kind of basically told her the job is yours, and she just didn't feel prepared for it.
Mm-hmm.
So she I'm working with her on trying to help her learn like different systems and different ways to streamline her job in order to make her feel more confident in this position that she has. So,
Yeah. Well, what is this cranial sacral therapy that you do?
craniosacral therapy, that is light touch massage, um, and it basically just works along through your spine, it and your head, your skull. Um, Basically it works with your cerebral spinal fluid, which is like a system in and all of itself that runs down your spine, back up around your head, and back down.
Yeah.
And what happens is sometimes like that cerebral spinal fluid in its functions can get a little bit, um I'm trying to find the right word, congested, I guess you can say, like it just doesn't move as smoothly as it should. So that therapy, I kind of help open up the congestion and let the fluid move more smoothly, help the fluid move more smoothly. I can't speak today. And just do some, and that is very, very good for people who experience migraines, people with ADD, ADHD, people who are on the spectrum. In fact, my younger cousin is on the spectrum, and when he was in high school, I did this with him a lot, and it helped him focus quite a bit better. Um, yeah, so it's good for neurological things like
And what is the process with craniosacral therapy specifically? Like, yeah, because I only heard about it when I first talked to you, to be honest. So, how do you physically do that?
Um, Basically, I just placed my hands on different places around your body, on your head and your spine. Um, and it's a very light touch. It's like almost like the weight of a penny um, on your body. And because if you go much deeper than that, then you start to feel other emotions besides the actual fluid that you're looking to feel. So yeah, so it's just a light touch. I can feel that movement. Occasionally your body will do what's called unwinding, and your head or your body will start moving all on its own based on where I'm touching because I'm touching the sutures of your skull. And as that begins to open up, um, your skull actually, the bones in your skull are actually supposed to move a little bit. And um, when that becomes congested, it pulls those sutures together so your bones don't move as easily as they should. So as that begins to open up, your body begins to what's called unwind, and you kind of move a little bit here and there and just kind of relax into it and kind of just calm, become more
Yeah.
calm and get back better into your uh, more focused and just feel better.
Okay. And we still have 5 minutes left in the show. What other aspect of your work do you want to share? Do you want to talk about essential oils? I'm not sure if we dove into that last time much, but what else do you want to talk about? It's your show. So I'll ask you what you think is important.
Yeah, we can talk about essential oils a little bit.
Okay.
Um, so the essential oils basically they work with the limbic system of your body, which is kind of like that. Like, do you ever like walk into a restaurant and you can smell like the smell of something cooking, and you're like, oh, that brings me back to like when my grandma used to make this in her kitchen, and you can smell that smell. That is essentially what the essential oils does is it brings out those smells that will um, kind of bring memories back into your body, to bring just kind of that calmness to you, or um, whatever sensation you're looking for. There are also medicinal purposes for essential oils. There's things like eucalyptus that's good for like if you have a cough or a cold that you can put on your chest. Um, lavender is always good for like sunburns. Frankincense is good for like skin issues. There's so many different aspects of essential oils that it's hard to really go into them all in just a short few minutes. But I'm just trying to kind of cover the basics anyway. Um, I like to use them mostly as aromatherapy. There are people who do use them like in certain ones. You can use certain ones um, orally. I have a friend who actually uses a lot of them for cooking, like the cinnamons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, they just kind of do their whole, they're just essentially they could be used a lot the same as like vitamins and supplements, if you
Mm-hmm.
really know what you're using and how to use it properly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And any, for health, mental wellness, overall well-being, is there anything that you do on a daily basis that you can recommend to us, whether it's meditation or what do you tell your clients, to start each and every day? Is there anything that you suggest, positive affirmations,
Um, and stretching is a big one. I always tell my clients that they should stretch every day.
yeah,
And then yeah, just having some quiet time to themselves. It's hard for a lot of people don't understand like meditation per se, so I don't tell them to meditate, but I just tell them to take 5 minutes to themselves just for quiet
yeah.
time. And then we can, if they're interested in meditation, we can further explore that more. But um, yeah, just having that 5 minutes of quiet time and just not have disturbances and just kind of be in the moment. is
Yeah.
probably one of the best
Aw.
ones.
Well, let's remind our listeners how we can reach out to you, and you offer an initial consultation.
I do, yeah.
Great.
I'm my website is www.bodhimassageandwellness.com or www.coachingbodhi.com. And I can also be found on Facebook under Bodhi Massage and Wellness, and Instagram under Bodhi, the letter N, and Wellness.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Pleasure to have you back here. Good to see you in person, and looking forward to the next time we connect.
Thank you. You too, Jill.
Thank you, sweetheart. You have a fantastic day. And to all of our listeners as well, stay tuned. More of the show is on the way.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.